But in emergency, ignore all that. Okay? Or if there's gelatin capsules, you don't want the gelatin, break them open and put them right in your cup. Okay? The charcoal. That's what we're talking about. Because some of the tablets, they put magnesium stearates, binders, to just help to hold the pill together. So we prefer the pure powder.
Does it taste
The powder
chocolatey?
is better than the tablet.
Yeah.
Tablet takes longer to digest and break down. Yeah, that's what I just said. I prefer the powder first, capsule second, tablet third. The powder is the most diverse. So we sell pint jars in the clinic of just the powder. You take a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, they put it in stores or rollers. Either coconut or bamboo are my two favorites. But coconut. So a lot of stuff in the capsule is coconut charcoal. That's the more commercial one. It works just as well. But we ordered a bamboo charcoal in big bags or tubs from Singapore or Japan. And then we bag it up and put it in a pint jar and give that to the client. And that lasts like 2 months. Or every family should just have a thing of capsule or that. And we never travel anywhere without it. You say, oh, I'm going to South America, what should I take? Charcoal. Oh, I'm going to have charcoal. Food poisoning everywhere. So I always have it in my bag and my luggage.
Come see me in front of my house, helping to reverse the lorry.
Yes.
Here.
And everyone in the shop was buying charcoal.
Was it run from here?
This happened the last time I was here was breast cancer seminar. We were next to the health food store. And Cassie came in and they thought this famous cook was here. What's his name? Yeah, they said he must be talking because every time I talked about molasses, the break, there's no molasses in the store. And all the apple cider vinegar, no more. They slow down. People are in the seminar with all these things.
They came with a tray and sell it.
Right. Yeah. So this is something that stay with you for the rest of your life. That you know how to detoxify people without all this drastic fasting, diarrhea, all purging, none of it. Charcoal. You can fast until it gets weaker and weaker. Hopefully it clears it out and gets stronger. So I see people often stay weak. I used to fast a lot, like swimming. And I always felt weaker. Okay. So there's a price to pay for a lot of these detox. And there's this thing called Hertzmeyer reaction. You'll see this in Lyme disease. They give all these antibiotics. People have horrible side effects. And they say, oh, that's the bacteria dying. There's no evidence at all. And you have to do it for a year. You're killing the same bacteria for a year. And have 4 antibiotics for a year. That's their solution. Okay, so let's go on. One more up here.
Somebody who is currently going through chemo.
Yes.
What would your protocol be on giving charcoal?
Yes.
Because there seems to be a bit of that question there.
Yeah, it's up to you and the person if they're into taking it. It would definitely help. The nausea, the vomiting, the hair loss, the side effects, the brain fog. It will help all those things. If you tell the doctor, they would say, oh, it's going to interfere with our chemo. So it's up to the homeopath and their clients. So I definitely recommend it with all chemo and radiation. I'm going to give a talk tomorrow on radiation and the Fukushima thing and all this stuff. How to protect yourself. As soon as Fukushima happened, all the bamboo charcoal sold out in Japan. You couldn't find any. You had to wait a few months. And also the potassium iodine sold out. Potassium iodine. That protects the thyroid from radiation. And so homeopathic remedy. Calendar. We have this. Or you take seaweed and stuff that has that in it, and you can protect yourself from radiation. Okay, let's do Bacopa. I think you'll like this remedy. This is straight from the yogi. You know, thousands of years of experience. This is the #1 herb that they would take as a tea, as a powder, as a tincture, to improve their meditation and improve their brain from deteriorating. Living in a harsh climate, in caves, and doing all their practices and all that. It was a very rough life, and they were super healthy. Okay? Can you imagine someone that in such poverty, they own a bowl and a loincloth, and they're just in bliss, and the happiest people on earth, and you got billionaires that are miserable. Miserable. Treated someone. They're miserable. Yeah. Suicide, depression, too much responsibility, and then all their whole life is to get more. It's a form of insanity. There was a line in the movie Avatar where the chief looked at the guy and said, "We hope we can cure your insanity." Which was the corporations going to mine minerals for money. Okay. I watched that on an airplane. To half the flight. Okay. So it's Bacopa. It's also called Brahmi. Word from Brahma, which means wisdom. That's the wisdom herb. Okay. It's also called India pennyworth. Water hyssop. Unbelievable plant that grows in the water. In the water. You can buy it at an aquarium shop. It grows underwater. Unbelievable plant. Watercress and bacopa. And now I'm thinking, I'm on the trail. These old alchemists always talk about these water plants, that special energy. And watercress, unbelievable. It saved so many lives in England. It was the only green food you could have in the winter. And you know the nickname in England for watercress? Scurvy grass. We have time to talk about that. And nettles, unbelievable time. Urtica, you read. Nettle soup, nettle hair tie, and all this stuff. #1 treatment for gout was the common nettle. And I think it was Burnett, his nickname was Dr. Urtica, because he cured everybody with gout. Well, his secret remedy was the nettle's tincture, not in potency. Okay? So here it's in my Materia Medica. It's been in there for 5 years. So I had to re-look at it. I said, I think I had this in there. I'm looking at superfoods, and I know this remedy. Yeah, I did the whole thing up. And I never at this time, I did this in just 5, 6 years ago, I don't know how long. And all these things disappeared. Not homeopathic, ever herbal. Okay. It's our #1 herb for Alzheimer's. Brain fatigue. Some of the old books call it brain tag. Okay, mental exhaustion in homeopathy. Very good for depression. When we had a potentize, or students potentize, all of them started laughing and giggling, and their mind got clear. So we started made a tincture, always tincturing. Okay. Solomon, his last word is don't dilute it, but us tincturate. He tincturated everything at the end. They're more powerful than he would pick the plant, whole plant, and work it off, and grind it up and tincturate it raw. I don't know any pharmacies that really make it the way Harlan did in his last teaching. Okay? So it's in both Materia Medica. There's a herbal remedy. It's also a food. So it's good for anyone that's aging and memory problems, senility, and all that stuff. It's helped children with learning disorders, and a big remedy for insomnia. And again, all that means is hitting the pineal pituitary gland. It's hitting the heart of the brain and regenerating the whole brain. Okay? So I put this in the book, hoping someone will potentize and do it through, but it never happened. Here it is growing along the shores of South Carolina. Here it is inside of an aquarium. You can check the aquarium. But you can go online and buy the powder. This is what we buy, big bags of powder. 3 ounces of powder. We have people take teaspoons of it, and then we make our own tincture of it. very adaptable. The most important, I'd say, brain and nerve herb in all of Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years. Okay? It resembles parsley, slightly bitter, and the whole plant is used. And it looks like, you look at these leaves, what's that look like? What's the plant? Jade plant, right? Yeah, it looks like a jade plant, succulent leaves. And it's full of water. Water presses like 65% water, so it's healing water. And so they're full of good healing water. Traditional uses in Ayurveda, epilepsy, asthma, and on and on and on. And now the scientists are getting onto the fact that it's very high in antioxidants and also helps the thyroid. So we feel when you stimulate the pineal and pituitary, you're affecting everything going on because they release thyroid stimulating hormones. So you have someone that's tired, fatigued, and they're diagnosed with low thyroid, we give them Bacopa, and all this stuff. And you can actually tap your thyroid and massage it, and your blood test will change. So in Qigong, we teach people to do this massage or tapping their thyroid and their need for it. And all the thyroid pills are dead and street. It works for years, but then it won't work. And when you take the thyroid pills, your body doesn't, the brain reads the blood level of thyroxine, okay, and it doesn't produce its own because it says the blood levels are fine, so it won't produce its own, so your thyroid starts to atrophy. So they're consciously atrophying your thyroid and replacing it with an external hormone. Okay? And then when that stops working, the same with cortisol and your adrenal glands. You actually are shrinking your adrenal glands so you can't produce your own. Okay? So low thyroid also. So it means wisdom and improves IQ, improves learning ability. Number one thing is memory. This is your ultimate memory. It beats rosemary, gotu-kola, and ginkgo by a mile. Okay? So I will call them super tonics. The top tonic is what's the best tonic on earth? I go start searching for the memory. And this is the best one. If I find something better, cheap chance. You do brainwave and Bacopa and all kinds of brain diseases. You get some charcoal, detoxify them, brainwave, Bacopa. Okay. There was a recent study, I think it was BBC again, on psychedelic mushrooms. You hear about that? Psychedelic mushrooms, I think it's peyote or mescaline in small doses, it regenerates brain. Of course, they don't want to get in the business of selling psychedelic mushrooms. Research shows it doesn't. And the research shows this also regenerates. And also verbal. Okay. So I had a person try to autistic children, but this is one. About either make a low potency of it or drop doses or a tincture, or you can put the powder in the child's food. Okay. And here's a yogi talking about it. And a big old long list. Elephantitis, skin disease, psoriasis. Again, I look at that. That means it's an adaptogen. It's a general tonic that raises your hormones from the brain, and then it raises your energy. Because you just see this on and on. It's what things that's cured in the Ayurvedic books. And you'll get these slides, so that's ready to get. Okay. Now this is just to show you. See, I have no prejudice at all, whether it's some New Age thing or University of Texas research, no prejudice. I don't care. There's something valuable there. It's like being a treasure hunter. You don't care where it's located, Arctic, the jungles of Africa. You don't care. You're looking for a treasure. And this is the amount of research that's been done on Bacopa in the last few years. Okay? And look at the research now. Number of research papers done, and people haven't heard of it. It's in these small university hospitals and all that stuff. And these neuroscientists, they're all hot on it, but it's not on the market, and no drug companies don't sell it. They're just looking for a chemical to extract and make a new drug. Now, I didn't say this, but xenobiotics, all allopathic drugs have to be xenobiotics. Why? because you can't get a patent if it's not antibiotic. You have to make it foreign to life to own it.
That's shocking to that.
That's shocking. Where's the science in that? The science should be opposite. It should be natural to life before you even research it. Okay? Yes?
Nestle was trying to patent cotton seed in
Yes.
Nigella or something.
Yes.
So they're starting to.
Yes. And they succeeded, the FDA just succeeded in doing, I don't want to get off track real quick, succeeded in patenting one herb from Peru called dragon's blood. People heard of that? Unbelievable. You take a knife and you cut the bark and it bleeds red blood. The document signature. They take that sap and they put it in the wound and they found it's the #1 treatment. They found no other treatment for AIDS. So they're patenting it. Because we don't want normal people using it. But you can still buy it on the internet. And we're going to focus on it so we make sure we have it. Okay? It stops the severe wasting diarrhea from AZT drugs. The only thing they ever seen work.
Yeah. It's the same with Artemisia.
Yes.
It's now been patented as Artemisinin, and Artemisia tincture is no longer available in Europe. It's been banned.
Yeah, you find a common name. Or mugwort, what are Artemisia is a group. It's not one herb. It's a moon goddess, huntress. So yeah, there's a lot of Artemisia plants. But you find a common word, sometimes they can sell it as a common word. They're patenting the trademark in the name. That's why they put that I in at the end. Artemisia, and it's a trademark name. Okay? So here's the ultimate brain tumor, in my opinion. And when we see people coming back to the clinic and asking for Forgotten, these are country folks. You know, I'm not saying I'm educated, but they're really country folks. They, you know, very simple. And they come back, I want more of that Forgotten. We don't get there and convince them and sell nothing. We try to come back and get some more. Okay? And we see people coming back. What you'll see up here, it helps depression, lighten the moods and make people happier. Okay? Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, all this stuff. A lot of sleep disorders it helps, and all kinds of brain disease, brain disorders, anxiety, and the most important thing is rumination. Okay? So taking that tincture as we get older prevents senility. The yogis are 100 years old, 110, no senility. Okay? They use Shilajit, they use Bacopa, and just a few herbs. Again, we had this sleep problem that throws the whole health off. Okay? So this is what they found. It enhances, it repairs damaged neurons. This is science. No homeopathic herbalist taught it. Okay? It enhances nerve activity, which can be measured. Okay? And, communication between the nerves. And they found these chemicals in it, bacosicides and saponins, which salt is made from. And these things, they actually know what's in it that's doing all the good work. Okay? So you take that and your brain works better. It's like, what do you call it, updating your software on your computer. Everything's faster. Getting rid of all the viruses and all. Oh, you're fine. Getting all your spam and all that stuff out now. The same thing with this. Now the nerves right next to each other weren't talking. You take the book open, now they talk. You know, and then you feel better. Things look clear, lighter. All the subjective things that who we are. We are subjective beings living in an objective body. All of psychology is unscientific. All of psychiatry is unscientific. And all of medicine is unscientific. Based on their own terms. The commercial businesses to sell drugs. Okay, again, we have fatigue and affects the brain, and we see it also a remedy for irritable bowel. You've got brain fog and irritable bowel, we get Forgotten. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Unbelievable research about the bowel. There's a book we'll talk about tomorrow, but you don't know it. The colon is your second brain. It looks like a brain and everything. It's unbelievable research. That's why all this staphysagria and colocin and all these suppressing motions protect. Most of your serotonin ring chemicals are in your digestion. And that's the connection between what we eat and how we think. Okay? So it's gaining worldwide recognition for mental alertness and improving brain cell function. So I think I have 10 of these things. It's good for number 2 here is brain fog, which we just talked about. Okay? It's not a disease, it's a condition relating to exhaustion, fatigue, toxicity, poor nutrition. They make these fancy words, cognitive dysfunction. Bacopa is a major herb for cognitive dysfunction. And I say gastroenteritis, scientific term. It means gastro, stomach, enteritis is intestines, itis is fire. There's a fire in your stomach and intestines. That's how scientific it is. When we read that old herbal book, oh, this is, what do you say, tomfoolery? You say that. Okay. So, second is memory, the best remedy, and they've tested on students, on children, elderly people, and you can test it by simply doing tests. Okay? Now people also, redoing the test over and over will improve your memory too. Okay? So they have before and after. They add the Bacopa and do that, and it's unbelievable. It promotes short and long-term memory. Enhances healthy concentration, healthy function. Students use it to help their memory, boost their memory for exam. You guys get exams? You get exams? You don't want a minute? Gelsimium, but okay. So learning. Again, look at these brain scans. I'll recommend you just get a radiation of your brain just to see. But it's really starting into different scans for different diseases. With a super brain yoga, they have all these scans before and after using this. And it's just amazing. One child only had a little light right here. They did super brain yoga for like 3 months. And the whole head was lit up after that. Just by doing this. Putting some music on, making a game. I taught the elementary school, the whole elementary school was doing it. They were ear music, the kids were 5-year-old kids, and they were doing it. Twice a day as a therapy, but once a day is really good. And one of the key things is the squat. So how do you eat? The squat. Yeah, as far as you go. Now you see the kids just doing this, but the yogis over here, and to go to these chairs, lift up our whole system, sitting, and there's a new product on the market, you can get it, it's called the squat stool. What is it? The what? Squatty potty. And it's unbelievable. It will cure disease. And it's a little plastic thing that you sit on your toilet seat, and you sit on it, and you actually have the thing. We are only supposed to have bowel movements squatting. Only. And that stretches the perineum, all the prostate problems, the uterine problems, the endometriosis, it goes on and on because we don't squat. You see people in India down here doing their business for 8 hours in a squat. On a blanket. Homeopaths. They have the remedies there, they're squatting, they're taking the case and giving the remedies out. I was going to do a full squat, but you never know if you can't get up. So they've tested all this research, mainly on memory and learning disorders. Okay, they don't really research brain fog. And this, look at this one here. Double-blind clinical studies on 30 mentally retarded children, free from epilepsy and neurological conditions. The results indicate significant improvement in both general ability and behavioral ability when the tonic was administered for a short period of 12 weeks. And I had the whole research, but that's just a summary of it. And some of this research was done in Pakistan and India. And this was done in research in Australia. And it's found to be effective in tests for retention of new information. It decreases the rate of forgetting. So you hold memories in whatever thing. It's like the airport, the boarding. The memories are held here longer. Significant improvement in speed of visual learning too. And they only gave 300 milligrams of the total extracts of powder.
Well, can I just ask, for all these herbs, is there a maximum amount of time you would recommend? Would it be like a period of, say, a couple of months, then have a period of rest, and
Yes.
then go back?
No. Well, the herbs I pick, Venus sativa, alpha, they're all food. They're foods. Okay? Oats will cure things. There's no drug on the market that beats oats for cholesterol. And they all know it. The only thing that can be advertised in the United States for lowering cholesterol is cereal oats. It's totally legal because they don't know. They promote sleep and everything. So I consciously look for herbs that can be also used as food. At the end of it, you're going to get the scholar soup recipe. And this is a green soup that you'll be able to make that will make you smarter. And the scholars would eat this soup. So yes, this is the hygiene part. It should be food. Okay? So, and that's what I meant. The superfoods are things you incorporate in your life. And if you're sick with something, raspberry, it's something unbelievable. It cures eye problems. Then you can use it as a tonic. Food, tonic, tincture, potency. So the first level is in a food, is an edible. Okay. So 90% of it. Charcoal now is food, but it covers the mineral aspect of it. Okay. So this is another one, number 5, ADD and ADHD. And this was in India. So benefit after 12 weeks, sentence repetition, logical memory repair, associated learning text, all this stuff. A lot of research. Basically, hundreds of thousands of research with that. So it came from the yogis. They did it because they took this herb, they ate it, and they found their meditations improved. They use it. You can take a green powder, you can buy it right online. Amazon sells it, UK. I'm in Prague teaching. Everybody's online, and they're going to Amazon UK to get everything I talked about, and they found everything. Then they have Amazon UK shipped to Prague. Yes, it's Amazon Prague. They get everything from here. So I know this stuff is available.
So conversation with the powder.
Yes, you take the powder, you put it in the cup, you pour hot water over it, you add honey and lemon, you're done.
How many spoonfuls?
Strong as you want, taste, the flavoring you want, you can add anything you want. And it helps balance. The yogis said it helps balance the brain. The yogis were big on it. This is why they did the alternate nostril breathing. Because these two big knobbies here is where we get the caduceus, all the stuff right there. Okay, they come up here. And in modern physiology, I have a degree in physiology, and I said, well, they found out every 2 hours your nostrils twitch. Every 2 hours. Okay? And they had it hooked to astrology. Every 2 hours the signs change on the horizon. So these signs change on the horizon, and these nasal things are switching, and you're born. You're a sun person or a moon person. And all this left-sided and right-sided stuff is homeopathy because of these, the yogi nadis. So when one nadi's up, you have right-sided power. Like the podium, cello, candy. And there's no physiological explanation for right-sided power. There's no physiological explanation for it. Okay? Nerve tonic, Alzheimer's, and all this. And here's a powerful little warning here. Support and antioxidant in the brain. It helps the hippocampus in what parts are stimulating and all that. Epilepsy patients that are barbiturates, it may potentiate the effects of barbiturates, so they need to take lower doses. It works so well. That's usually the remedy doesn't affect the drug, but this makes barbiturates work better. And we're trying to figure out what that means. So, only warning, epilepsy patients you watch, you may want to give it potency. It's very indicated. You see all the stuff there. Brain fog and this thing. Anxiety and stress, people that take this time or eat the soup or You can make salad dressings with it. You can do whatever you want, whatever you can imagine, just to get it in your body as a regular incorporate in your diet. You know, buy a bag of powder, take a teaspoon or two a day.
And also tincture drops.
Or tincture drops. Yep. Yep, we do both, powder and tincture. So anxiety, fatigue, and all this stuff. It also seems to affect the blood pressure. Of course, because your breast cancer.
Do you use this in the pregnant women as well?
For what?
For pregnant women.
Oh, I've seen no restriction. It's a food, an edible food. I've seen no restriction. Might make the baby smarter. and anybody know what herb does that? Holy basil, tulsi. Named after Saint Tulsi. Tulsi, holy basil from India. When the baby comes out, they sprinkle tulsi water on the baby to make him smarter. And then I've found research that taking the tincture of holy basil, not basil, holy basil, and that also does. Okay? So very good for depression. And look how they do the milligrams or kilograms and all this stuff. And it's comparable to antidepressants. Effectiveness is comparable, but there's no money. I mean, if I'm a pharmacist, you think we're crazy? We can make $10,000 on this and we can make $5 on this? You think we're crazy? And I don't blame the pharmacist, I don't blame the doctor, I don't blame the CEO of the pharmacist, I only blame one person, the shareholders. A soulless, mindless group that will fire anybody that doesn't give them more money and they don't care how you do it. Okay? It's the shareholders. If that CEO doesn't produce, he's out. She's out. Okay? Parkinson's disease. So it covers Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The lacuna is much more stronger for Alzheimer's. And again, this is 100 to 200 milligrams. And again, they sell this in the health food stores in capsules. So it prevents the dopamine from breaking down. It's neuroprotective of the brain tissue. And prevents these amyloid deposits that are indicated in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And that's the pyrons and all this tissue. Just starts in the brain, just gets these plaques and build up electricity can't really simple. Okay, so here's some how to use it. Available in tablets, tincture, potency. We have the potency, and I'll send it to Helios so people here will have it. We potencize several things, so good stuff. The most amazing one we talk about tomorrow. Unbelievable. From the Bible. Can't believe it. Macopaville, they use the leaves, stems, or the whole plant. You mix 1 or 2 teaspoons in juice and just drink it at a time. You can add a yogurt or soup or that. You can make a tea out of it. Any way that's appropriate or best for the person. It helps spasms and nerving. Sometimes in India they combine it with ginkgo or lecithin. And this is really weird. One of the best tonic for the brain is lecithin. Lecithin produces choline, and choline is from cholesterol. And cholesterol is manufactured by the liver to coat the brain cells. When your brain cells are lack cholesterol, you get Alzheimer's. Normal cholesterol, before they found the statin drugs, normal cholesterol for people was 300. Normal. And they never saw a problem. Then they found this drug that destroyed the cholesterol-producing cells in the liver. And then they found this new research that associated cholesterol levels with heart attacks and strokes, and then the fear-mongering came in. Brand new disease. High cholesterol is not a disease. People in Africa that tried to jump, they had a high cholesterol, and they had probably no heart attacks. Action, side effects. Women will use estrogen replacement therapy, birth control. And I believe this is a general, common disclaimer type of thing. I don't think we've given it to anybody pregnant or anything like that. But I feel the birth control pill, because we know it affects the thyroid, it might boost your hormones or cause some effects like that. Okay, this is one of the ads. One of the products out there, memory max. And here's how it grows. That's in the aquarium. And this is in someone, you can grow in your house, you can grow it on your porch, you can grow this stuff. And there's Dr. Jude's Bacopa soup. We made that up and drink it, and eat it as a soup. So we give you the slide in this recipe. Basically celery, garlic, water, some chickpea miso. And you don't get miso in different things instead of soy. You get chickpea miso. What else do we get? Red pepper miso, garlic miso, brown rice miso. So you don't just have to get the soy miso. You just add miso to water, or warm water, and drink it. You have instant soup, food. And miso is one of the big things they use in Japan to get radiation out of the body. So, hospitals that gave all their patients miso had less cancer and everything. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay? And then they add some spices, herbivores, this is a herbal spice. And you can add coconut oil, or if you're going to blend it in a blender, macadamia nuts, or stuff like that, throw it in there. And add 2 tablespoons of the cocoa. That will serve how many people? 4? Yeah, 4 people. And we bake all our soups and stuff just in the blender. We don't even have an oven anymore. We have a stove top and a toaster oven, and there's an amazing new product. I'm not selling it, I have no stock in it. And it's called a New Wave oven. People heard of that? And it's $79, like 50 pounds. It sits on your kitchen counter and cooks everything with infrared. And it cooks it from the inside out, opposite of everything else. And just roasted vegetables, everything are perfect every time. And all you do is set the time and hit the button and walk over. And it's perfect food every time. And they even have portable ones. And if you have a solar panel, if you have instant food, they have a stove top with a solar panel and instant food and walk the grid. Okay. I think that's it on that. Any questions on Bacopa?
Have you ever seen any sensitivity reactions to taking Bowel? And would you say that, generally speaking, there are some people who are susceptible to sensitivity reactions to certain herbs?
We have not seen any. It's just like a food, spinach or something like that. So that's why I picked these foods that they're low thing. But anybody can be allergic to anything, but we haven't seen it. The only reaction we've seen was when people were making a remedy. Then we saw a reaction. Now we can find out if the remedy works as well. Okay, one more right quick.